Yes, sir. Sincere
Stick
has
to my
trouble.
boring
Sincere has
stuff.
trouble with that opening, man. He has trouble with that opening.
I don't study opening, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't study anymore.
I mean, I've
I used
looked
to
at a lot
study
of
traps
games
when I was
but
like,
I don't really study opening.
I used to study traps a lot, and then I stopped doing that when I started learning how to
studied
play
nothing,
chess.
just squares, positions.
I just kind of like when I'm playing blitz, to sometimes play something exciting for the crowd.
That way.
That's just how I play. You know, I like to finesse my player. I like to finesse you down.
We covered a lot of topics.
There.
Maybe the way to think around that is the whole, like, what you were talking about. Instead of chasing rating points, just play the game, right? Play the process and the money will come, right? I mean,
Well, here's two principles that I've established that I try to follow so far. Okay, one is to not commit evil acts. So
I'm the best if I do that.
like
sounds like Jordan Peterson.
yeah, so I mean like
All right, no.
like Pepsi, for instance, right? One of my favorite videos from H3H3 is how Pepsi saves the world. It's really funny. But anyway, it's like they made this commercial where they try to make it seem like they care about everything that's going on. They care about the world. There's all these protesters. They're not. It doesn't look like they're protesting about anything in general. It just says join the conversation. But somehow their logo is like a Pepsi logo, and they're drinking Pepsi.
Is that the one with Kendall Jenner?
Yeah, and it got banned. And it got banned. Yeah. So it's like
hilarious.
so Pepsi's trying to make it look like they care about the world and everything. But if they cared about the world, they'd be like, we're done. We care too much about this planet to keep selling poison, giving people diabetes. So, like, to me, like that's evil. Like McDonald's.
Hey, they sell salads, man.
They're doing so much harm to the world. But anyway, so that's principle number one. And then principle number two is to not commit pointless acts. So
Are you
like,
trying to hit me with a tactic?
so like this. Here's an evil act. You got some people, they're like mugging this guy in the
Maybe I
street with
should.
knives,
I
right?
see you.
Here's the pointless act. You say,
As long
hey,
as I don't
you
run out of
guys,
time, I think
what
I'm
you're
okay.
doing is wrong.
As long as I don't run out of time.
I mean, you're probably just bringing harm to yourself. Your first
Yeah.
injury, you could die,
He
right?
is trying to hit me with a tactic.
Also,
Now
it's
I
kind
know.
of like
Giving attention, man.
Now I know.
You're paying attention.
It's like hit the like
No,
button
I know.
and then
There you
we'll think
go.
that'll actually do something,
Fine,
right?
roll the
Like
camera.
passive
Alright, so it takes.
Well, that's not only is that pointless, but that could also be like you're hurting yourself, right? So that's what I think about that. But I think I also think if you have any type of big business, that there's going to be good things that come and bad things to come, and it's inevitable. That's what I think. Like, find one business where like nothing bad ever happens.
What do you mean by bad? Like market tanks? Like they lose?
Well, like for instance, if you have layoffs, people are put out of a job.
Oh, okay.
Their family could starve. You know.
I mean, it's always changing, man. Yeah.
And humans are fallible, and if you're in a position of influence, then that is magnified.
You bring up an interesting point, like with the company being bad. You see this a lot in companies in the US where they cater to the shareholders first, right? So just to make the numbers look good, so the stock price goes up, so that the shareholders get wealthier. But they do that at the expense of cutting costs, cutting pay, letting workers go, So
Everything on that movie.
Right. I mean, it just
Let me see.
keeps
here.
on the Sody Pops,
Sody Pops.
and the burgers, Papa John's.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dear. Oh, man. That's a mess, dude. I don't know what happened there.
I heard he resigned or something as CEO. He seriously made a video where they're talking about his commercial where he's introducing Papa John's online delivery or something, and it's like he's like telling his son Bo, he's like, yeah, we're just getting some pizza and some Sody Pops. And he's like, oh man, even though this guy is worth $500 million and he lives in this mansion compared to like a feudalistic castle, he's just a good old boy. The Sody Pops.
Sody Pops, yeah. Make it like the average Joe, man.
And so to this day, the guy's named Ethan. He still like uses Sody Pops whenever he's talking about soda.
Oh, yeah. Sody Pops. Very folksy name.
When he sees
Yeah, I
something
wanna
he
leave.
likes, he just
pretty
assimilates it into his vernacular. Like,
Yeah, let me see
I
what's
knew you were
going
gonna do
on.
something.
Let me see what's going on.
I knew you were gonna make that move. See?
Now,
I knew it.
now what?
I knew
Now what do I do?
it. I knew you were gonna do this, man.
so the thing about not committing evil acts, or like,
I
don't wanna do
I think it's a better principle than
It's probably a better way.
Machiavellianism.
More better.
More better?
Because
So let's do this because we wouldn't want you.
it seems like more, like, less evil
Can you
comes
do
from
that?
it.
I can't give you what you want.
Alright, let me see what's going on. Let me see what's going on.
But at times, I have to say it seems like
Take my pieces now.
the result could
No,
outweigh
let me take this guy.
the evil in the act. But I think that takes like wisdom and judgment.
Good.
So
Let's get
Kind
him.
of reminds me of like, have you
Take
heard
this
Dao
guy.
De Jing? That book, the Dao De Jing.
yeah.
Talks about like government just leave the people alone.
Yeah, I read Art of War. He references it.
Oh, okay.
There's something not right.
Something about
All right.
something. All right,
Supposed to be winning.
that's true.
No, I mean the Dao De Jing is a very interesting book. Yeah.
I said I'm supposed to be winning. I know. Somehow I'm supposed to.
Have you read it? Dao De Jing.
Wow. It works? Yeah, let me go over here.
Never know. Wait, isn't it a big part of Chinese culture?
We'll do that.
I'm supposed to win this game.
We can win it.
I can.
Definitely possible.
I can win. Don't lie to me.
The art of defense is might get in your way, but
Don't lie to me.
the only way,
I know I'm supposed to be able to win.
the only thing that might hurt you is the art of defense. Check. That's a check.
So
That's a check by the
instance
best.
I told you about with the
Check by
monkey,
the best.
Oh yeah.
like you're supposed to do something about it, but in that case it's pointless. So
There it
that's
is.
why I added that second like principle, right?
See, I had to be more aware of the
Hey guys, Brian here, and let's go over the game. And there were no missed tactics, so I'm just gonna cover the end. I want to show you guys some cool things. So when Twister moved rook to h5, threatening mate, things kind of looked dicey for white, but Pierce threw in the check, and he found the escape valve. And the number one rule in defense is don't panic. Just look for the best move, and you'll be able to find it, hopefully. And Twister threw in the check, king escaped, and I guess Twister wanted to open up the fortress and try to mate the king, but Pierce threw in the check, and then this bishop drop. But let's go back a move. What would have been the best move for black in this position? Now, obviously, both players are low on time, so it's hard to find those good moves, but in this position, the best move for black would probably be g6 to kind of form his own fortress here. And let me guys ask you a question. How would you guys take this bishop? Would you take it with the pawn or the king? Alright, for those of you who said take it with the king, I'm sorry to say you lost the game. If king takes, then it's mate in 3, so pause the video and see if you can find it. First move is rook h3, check. And no matter where the king moves, the king can only move here or here. All of the squares, these are covered by the rook, these are covered by the knight. So no matter where the king moves, let's say moves back, then a nice knight checkmate. And if the king decides to move forward, then you've got queen check, push pawn, and you got mate. So obviously in this position you want to take with the pawn. And the question here is there any play for black here? And the answer is, it's going to depend on what white wants. So if black is going to throw in this check, now white can decide to run. He can kind of run here, and then kind of hide in the corner, hide here, and then maybe defend with these pieces, kind of create a new fortress on this side. But if white wants a draw, he can simply move back here. And you got the check, and then king moves to escape square, and then another check, king moves back. And let's say black doesn't want to draw, he wants to fight for the win. If he tries to cut the king off here, then obviously he's going to be tempoed out, and white will try to trade off pieces to win the game since he's up a piece. And even though white is up a piece, it's still kind of it's not as clear cut the win. He has to kind of finesse his way for the win. Maybe trade off as many pieces as possible, take out this pawn and queen this pawn. That would probably be the plan. But just want to show you guys, you know, the like Pierce said, the art of defense. You know, people say that people tend to associate beauty in chess with attacking, and attacking is really cool, but you know, there's something to be said about defense too, and there's art in it and beauty in it. And some players don't like to play it, but I think it's a skill we all have to learn. So number one rule in defense when you're about to get mated, let's see, where was that? Right here. Yeah, when you're about to get mated right here, just don't panic and look for the escape valve, and you should be fine. So hope you guys enjoyed the game, hope you guys enjoyed the analysis, and I'll see you guys later.